In a world of egos, large social media content creators, lawsuits flying about, potentially, maybe, who knows? This, I don't know, MAGA seems to be eating itself in more ways than one. Now, I'm not shocked by this or anything like it because I've seen it before. Listen, we all saw how the left likes to implode. We all saw how the left goes after each other. Well, the right has that problem too, and it's well, from being threatened to yelling at each other to saying that the show is no longer affordable or how dare you or how dare this. Candace Owens, Tim Pool, Erika Kirk, and everyone else in between. Oh, this it has to deal with the fallout of, well, what happened with Charlie Kirk, of course, and accusations and smears and words being traded to each other. Now, I'm following this with much interest, curiosity, because of overall the poking of the bear that Candace Owens has done, but also the response by Tim Pool and Turning Point USA, as we have covered, and other people, Jimmy Dore, Do Dissidents, and a few others have mentioned too, that Turning Point USA did invite Candace Owens to do a show. Now, as someone who's had guests on a show, and I think I'm pretty well sure all my colleagues will agree with me in this assessment. Okay, I would be surprised if they didn't. But when you are booking a guest, you just don't say this is the day you show up, and if you can't, then we're not gonna, compromise. No, no, no. When you book a guest on the show, you give them some days. Maybe you have to give them 2 weeks heads up, like, okay, you can show here up here in 2 weeks or something. What works for you, the time of your show, and you schedule it. I mean, that's show running 101 when you're booking a guest. So, guys, if you're ever going to do a podcast, just remember, wink, always be sure and never forget to remember to be compromising with your guests so that, they can actually show up on your show, because that's what you want to do. And since then, there's been more interesting things coming out. Erika Kirk is now speaking out, but also Tim Pool has also spoken out. And recently there's been talk, at least allegedly, and again, I don't want to see this happen to anybody on the right or on the left, where people are threatening him or doing anything of that nature. Now, first, I want to be clear on this. To my allies, to my enemies, to the trolls, to the lovers and supporters, I don't want to see anybody get hurt in this space. And this YouTube game is starting to get out of control. This online social media game is starting to get out of control. And a lot of people have that parasocial relationship going on. And I think it's causing a lot of people to crack. This year has been revealed as the year of the snake, 2025. I can't wait for it to end. I really can't wait for this damn year to end. So, Candace Owens, in response to Tim Pool's unhinged rant against her, decides to roast him. So what better way? Grab some popcorn for some internet drama. I think we're seeing a MAGA civil war in more ways than one. And listen, folks, it's still going to get more spicier. It shall, and it will. I promise you. It's a Kit Cabello Hardlands Media guarantee.
As you power, scared that she'll put you on her thumbnail and claim you benefited from Charlie Kirk's assassination, which she's doing to me right now.
Yeah,
I'm done with these people.
She has security, just not on the level of you.
Oh, yeah, the one fat guy you mentioned with no wall and no barrier in a suburban neighborhood with neighbors. She doesn't give two No one's out for her. She's lying about all of this. You told me you went to her house and she's got a 4-foot wall and one fat guy, and she doesn't give a about her security. Meanwhile, I get bullets fired at my property, and I have to go live in the middle of nowhere. And I got strangers coming up to my house in Maryland, breaking in. I got people showing up and beating up the residents who try to live there.
Listen, Michael, bad cookies, I know. And when I get to the YouTube story, yeah, look, guys, let me have my audacity of hope. Will 2026 be worse? I hope not, but I'm preparing for it.
How the am I even supposed to sell this property?
So there's a lot to unpack there. First and foremost, what you are seeing right there is not a display of testosterone. Men that speak to women like this are not tough guys, okay? What you are seeing is actually a display of estrogen. Everything he is doing there is somebody who is not a man, he is not tough, and he would never dare to speak to a man like that, right? People that find that very easy. Secondly, Tim Pool doesn't even have the intellect to understand that we put him in the thumbnail because he accused me in a full episode with Milo Yiannopoulos, which we showed and contextualized, of being someone who benefited from Charlie Kirk's assassination. So he thinks he's being accused. No, you accused me of that in like a actually, I think it was 2-hour episode with Milo Yiannopoulos, in which Milo defended me and explained that I am not to blame for the lame excuses that the feds have given us regarding Charlie Kirk's assassination. And that if we do need to have some spiritual searching in terms of what the Republican Party has become, that the time for that is now.
And I want to pause here for a second because there's more that I want to play with Candace Owens, especially calling out Tim Pool. And listen, I already know some people are going to type in the comment section, Kit, Tim Pool's from Chicago. I know. He brings great shame to our city's forefathers. And Trans Gemini hits Tim Pool's a walking parody. Well, you know what? I'm pretty sure Candace Owens would say this to Tim Pool.
You were born a man and you will die a man. You were born a man and you will die a man. You were born a man and you will die a man. You were born a man and you will die a man. You were born a man and you will die a man.
Well said, Candace. But there's more to this. There's this really vain attempt by everyone across the political spectrum, Democrats and Republicans, to maintain excitement for their voting base. Now, we already have laughed at the Democrats, but here's a surprise little twisty twist. A low pan knife throw, and good old Jack's going to catch it and throw it right back at low pan, which will really piss him off. The Republicans, and yeah, we're going to be dragging the Republican Party right now. They're a little bit stuck in a little bit of a quandary here because voter enthusiasm on their side is also looking weak and waning. It's disappearing. See, people are putting together their brains and remembering, wait a minute, both parties are screwing us over. And if both parties are screwing us over, they're giving us lame excuses. Nothing is getting better. The economy is still stuck. And wait, we're still having these ridiculous foreign wars going on. Nothing has fundamentally changed. We just got maybe a more coherent Joe Biden. Oof. Was that too far? It probably was a bridge too far, but just sharing that with you guys. Because remember, it's all about keeping voter engagement. And a lot of these big time players now who were on the Trump train for 2024 for that election cycle, now it's 2025. You know, we were promised a lot of transparency. We were promised a lot of changes. And that didn't really turn out too well for a lot of us. We're still waiting. What, the MLK, JFK, RFK Sr., the Epstein files, transparency? No. War still going on? Looks like they'll still go on in 2026. My God, the horror, the maddening horror.
Okay. So this little, and I really like, he's a small person for this, a very small person who is also theatrical, Timothy Smollett, who pretends every year like people are trying to kill him. He's a chronic fence sitter, okay, pretending like he is braving the wilderness for being what? The 110,000th person who's making a video about Candace Owens in the wake of Charlie Kirk's assassination. He thinks he's pioneering that. Are you out of your mind? It's only the safest thing you can do. What's next? Is he going to make a video and call Kanye West anti-Semitic? Like that's what he's pioneering right now. Oh my gosh, so original. Like, is he going to call Donald Trump evil in 2016? This is the storm that he's braving, is jumping on the side of what everyone else is doing. He is a fundamentally weak man for what he did there. He should apologize. He won't. I don't care what happens to his platform. He's now essentially trying out because he's under financial pressure. He's trying out for a Zionist to pay him, and they will. Okay, they will cut him a check, and I hope it happens for you, Tim. I hope it makes you happy.
Oh, damn! Candace Owens bringing that spicy. I mean, look, hey. There's a lot of snakes in this business. There's a lot of cutthroat in this business. But my God, the oof on this one, I gotta tell you, calling him little man, that's like oof. 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 I mean, audience, can you say anything better? I don't know. Hold on. I think Tim is hoping to be tapped to take Charlie Kirk's place in Turning Point USA. I I don't know about that. I don't know about that. I mean, who knows? Who knows? We will see what the future holds. We will see what the future holds. Let's go on.
But to do that to someone who has never done anything to you other than disagree with you about the Charlie Kirk narrative, I have not focused my content on you. And anytime your name has come up, it has been because you have explicitly been attacking me. You are a coward. You are less than a man. Okay. You are behaving. Your type right there is like a person who's having financial issues and yet decides to go out and put 100K on a poker game. And when he loses and is a further 100K in the hole, comes back home and beats his wife and kids and thinks he's a tough guy. That's how I'm asking right now. I'm not your wife. I'm not your kids.
And she'll slap you out. Oh man, dude. I think I found another soundbite. Please tell me this is it.
And put 100K on a poker game. And when he loses and is a further 100K in the hole, comes back home and beats his wife and kids and thinks he's a tough guy. That's how you're acting right now. I'm not your wife. I'm not your kids.
Damn, I'm not your wife. I'm not your kids.
Your affairs in order. That's how you're acting right now. I'm not your wife. I'm not your kids. Get your affairs in order and stop blaming me because I'm actually traversing down the path that hasn't been traveled by standing up and saying that something corrupt happened and Charlie Kirk was assassinated. And I don't care about your midterms, okay? I don't care about your next year midterms and whether or not the Republican Party is united, okay? Because I don't want to stand next to people that would cover up Charlie Kirk's assassination. I hope that I have made my point perfectly clear. We'll be back at.
Hey, and the thing is, let's actually reference this because this recently went kind of sort of viral. You know, everyone's been sharing it in one form or the other, but this was retweeted out by Adam Media. But it just says breaking: Tim Pool's ratings fall to the point his podcast is no longer profitable. Folks, trust me on it. The big hammer that YouTube is going to be and all social media is going to be doing to everybody in this media sphere. Let me just say, you know that scene in a movie where like the blip on the radar is like a giant shark heading to the boat. Yeah, that is a coming. That's coming for everybody.
So where does it leave us? We have 2 weeks left in the year before we go on our Christmas hiatus. You know, I'm not a big fan of any kind of hiatus. I would prefer just to work. But it is taxing. It is grueling, of course. And there's a lot of infrastructure here.
Okay, first of all, I got to pause right here because you know I was gonna comment on I think it was QT Cinderella or somebody, some dumb Twitch streamer commented, and they got millions of followers, millions of subscribers on social media. They got all the figgy pudding, and they're saying, "Oh, I wish I never could have done this." Oh, great! The algorithm in Rhyme has favored you, especially at a high point. It's so taxing. It's so grilling. It's like when Hassan said streaming is like a really tough job. Listen. There are some challenges in this kind of media space here and there, but let me just tell you right now, okay? For those, you know, getting into the media sphere or something like this, you know, what oil rig people have to go through, retail workers have to go through, what everyone else has to go through is a million times harder, a million times more difficult than streaming, okay? Streaming, especially if you're on that top pyramid right there, your life is golden. Okay, you got what's the problem? What's the problem here? Because I'm trying to figure it out here, and I think I know what's going on here. Because a little bit of a side note, a little bit of a side quest here, people. If the views are truly drying up, if they truly are, because again, people can be just saying things, but if they are truly drying up, like I've seen on social media, it means all the bigger channels are getting hit too. It's stuff that I've warned about. And let me tell you something. The assassination of Charlie Kirk helped push that up to 11. Now past 11. And it's very frightening because then you, the viewing audience member, are going to wonder what happened to your favorite content creator. So all the stuff in which Tim Pool is violently reacting, I wouldn't say violently, but just yelling at the camera towards Candace Owens. Like, okay, fine, but now you're saying you're going to hiatus and how tough it is. Come back and talk to me when you are the world heavyweight champion of dealing with censorship and suppression. Hey, folks, how many times has Heartland's media been gut checked? Come back and talk to me. Come back and talk to me when you have to deal with that. That sucks. That really sucks, because I'm betting that a lot of these larger content creators can talk to a person. What a rare privilege that is. And soon, no one will be able to talk to a person. Just throwing it out there. Just throwing it out there. Just throwing it out there.
Kind of hiatus. I would prefer just to work. But it is taxing. It is grueling, of course. And there's a lot of infrastructure here that requires me to work all day, every day, Monday to Friday, with some extra work on the weekends, usually meetings. And I'm probably going to have a stroke. My health's actually pretty good. My blood pressure is great.
You're going to have a stroke from what? What? Why are you going to have a stroke? Like I said, please talk to me when your channel's been hit numerous times. Please talk to... Never mind. You know what? I'm not going to have a stroke. I'm just going to bang my head against a brick wall. You know what? I'm going to go for a nice little midnight run down to Dan Ryan. Ah, screw it. Lakeshore Drive. You know, that's the one way to relieve stress. Running in the middle of Lakeshore Drive.
My resting heart rate is actually around 45. I exercise quite a bit. Haven't been able to skate in the past month or two, the holidays, and But we have to have these conversations, and I have been with the people, our contractors, people we work with, our vendors, partners. And one thing is clear: the violence will get worse. It is going to escalate. We cannot keep going as status quo. Something has to change.
Scarlet Raven says he works every day and sometimes on the weekends. Most Americans, Tim. Yeah. That's everybody. Hey, chat. Are you working almost every day? Show of hands. Right here. Raise your hand up high. It's okay. Raise your hand up high. Raise your hand up high.
It may be that, as we described after the assassination of Charlie Kirk and the threat to come and shoot up our studio and our workplace, we asked, at what point do we say we can't do this anymore? The cost of running Timcast IRL Studio and the projects around it exceeds the amount of money it brings in. That's just that breaking point, isn't it, for any business? If you need $100 to, run your restaurant, but you're only bringing 90, you go out of business.
Well, then that sounds like a you problem, man. Okay? Yelling at Candace Owens isn't going to fix that problem. She's just merely asking questions, okay? Now look, Turning Point USA did drop down the gauntlet, and Candace Owens picked it up, and then all of a sudden there was a little bit of a backy-back, twisty-twist, flip-flop around, going back on whether or not they could debate her. Now listen, the whole idea of debating somebody is, you want to at least prove them wrong, factually wrong. You got to give a time and a date, and it's got to be viral. Obviously, hey, look, I interview people, had guests on the show, different parts of the country. We got to manage for the time schedule. There you go. But you're saying, like, what? You hire too many people in? Again, the media space, this online space, it's going to get difficult. It's going to get crazier. It's going to get more cutthroat. And the way things are playing out on social media right now, every channel's getting hit. I know. It's like that scene from Jurassic Park. I got to mention it when the T-Rex escapes. And I'm like, I hate it when I'm proven right. Because you know what? The online suppression is going to be coming, and it's going to be hitting every single channel, and so many larger channels are noticing it. Everybody's being hit. Some of them won't even talk about, but everyone has been hit in one form or the other. So cry me a river, Tim. Cry me a river. Cry harder.
The issue? The cost isn't cameras or lights. The cost is security because of the escalation. It's an artificial cost to doing business that we can't balance. We can't forego security, but we can't sustain it either. So I've had some conversations with our partners, been talking with Rumble, There may be a solution, and it's going to be rapid change very quickly. We're going to have some emergency meetings. We've already had emergency meetings for obvious reasons. And there is a possibility that the 19th is the last episode of Timcast IRL. We are doing everything we can to make sure that's not going to be the case. It's no secret that I've been frustrated and disillusioned with a lot of people in politics, but that's no reason to walk away from doing our nightly show with a tremendous success. But the cost is not just money anymore. The cost is the safety of my family, myself, and there are many ideas we're floating around.
You deal with that every day. And when you are on social media, whether you are a small-time fish or a big-time killer whale orca, okay, the reality and threats are always there. You know, I don't want that to happen to anybody. I don't want that to happen to Tim. But, you know, Tim, this happens to a lot of us. If you have at least a decent digital footprint, you're going to have to deal with the fact that there are going to be some unhinged people, some very crazy people who take politics too seriously. And look, man, I've had my whole view changed on politics. I look at it as one big crazy madhouse. It's a circus, and I'm your favorite ringmaster, okay? That's right, folks. We'll survive it together. I take politics seriously, but not too seriously. But there are people who make it and consume it as a religion. We've covered people on how they've wanted to separate against their families because of different opinions or how they voted on the left and on the right. You can't have that. But if you're going to be doing all this and crying and saying that things are becoming too dangerous, are you trying to flag or wave somebody down like, hey, help me out here? Money me now? I mean, no matter what, even if someone does come to the rescue, there is this push by these larger companies to remove all social media. And, you know, again, especially those for independent media, what everyone needs to wake up to and see is that it's going to hit us all. One day you wake up and poof, like smoke. All of us are gone or censored or suppressed or removed off. And that's a very real, frightening reality that many of us have to come to terms with. Now, I want to pull up another video here because, look, the assassination, what happened to Charlie Kirk, it definitely added the gasoline to an already expanding wildfire. And I just want to pull this up here. Let's pull this up here because here's Erika Kirk even talking about just she's hinting at Candace. I mean, who else is she talking about?
Names, I don't care. Call me what you want. Go down that rabbit hole, whatever. But when you go after my family, my Turning Point USA family, my Charlie Kirk Show family, when you go after the people that I love, and you're making hundreds and thousands of dollars every single episode going after the people that I love because somehow they're in on.
Now, look, the YouTube game is really insane, especially when it comes down to AdSense and Patreon and other forms of revenue coming in. You know, very few people are rolling in the big bucks, but just throwing it out there. It's not what it seems.
On this, no.
You know, I have to say it. I've never seen you like this.
No, this is righteous anger because this is not okay. It's not healthy. This is a mind virus. Yes, I believe in our judicial system. I do. We have a hell of a team working on this. Excuse my French. But this is not okay.
So you want
Could have worded it better.
To put these people back in the box where they've been creeping from?
I don't care what box you're in. But just know that your words are very powerful and we are human. My team are not machines and they're not robots. They are human. We have more death threats on our team and our side than I have ever seen. I have kidnapping threats. I have, you name it, we have it. And my poor team is exhausted. And every time they bring this back up, what are we supposed to do? Relive that trauma all over again? They watched my husband get murdered. I have no idea how I would have reacted if I was there that day. And thank the good Lord that I did not have to see that happen. But my team, they are rocked to the core. So why every single
All right. Listen, that last sentence sounded odd. I don't know. Did anybody hear that? Am I listen, wait. Listen. Dr. Nick, I'm going to call you out specifically. But did you hear that? We're going to rewind it again just a little bit. All right, just right here. The neurons in my brain are just saying, what?
They watched my husband get murdered. I have no idea how I would have reacted if I was there that day. And thank the good Lord that I did not have to see that happen. But my team, they are rocked to the core. So why every single day do they have to be dragged through the mud, analyzed, hyper-analyzed? Come after.
Hold on, one more time. I'm sorry. One more time. Just, you guys heard all that, right? I'm kind of...
Live that trauma all over again? They watched my husband get murdered. I have no idea how I would have reacted if I was there that day. And thank the good Lord that I did not have to see that happen. But my team, they are rocked to the core. So why every single day do they have to be dragged through the mud, analyzed, hyper-analyzed?
Okay, now, obviously this was a very huge trauma, all right? And look, when I heard the news and saw the news, what happened to Charlie Kirk, I'm like, oh my goodness. But there was a much better way to word that. But to be clear on this, the incident, the fallout, the security around that entire facility has been bringing up more questions. And people have a right to ask questions. People find it suspicious, from how security swept the entire area, the autopsy, the final result, and then, of course, what I was worried about and came into fruition was the intensification of online censorship and more programs and legislation potentially to cause more harm in the online independent media sphere space, which is going to probably take place and go into full effect, if not starting in 2026, then in mid-2026. Something's going to go down because, let's face it, it's going to be a midterm election cycle, and you got to be careful what you say and do and speak out. But it's the drama, it's the falling out, the fracturing, because this is something bigger here. We're watching the fracturing of MAGA. We're watching a lot of these big-time pundit heads who went to bat for Donald Trump in 2024 start going in. The assassination of Charlie Kirk, also asking questions. Turning Point USA and Candace Owens not debating. Tim Pool yelling at Candace Owens. Tim Pool saying he's going to be shutting down. And everybody's saying they're getting threats. That comes with the territory. And I'm smelling something. I'm smelling that there's blood in the water. People have their fangs out and they want to grab what's ever left of the media space before it fully implodes.